live long and watch. Guys, how you doing? This is Isaac, the new background Anderson.
I'm Tyler. I'm in front of a green screen king.
And this is a movie show where we talk about movie news.
Movie reviews.
And every single thing in between. And as you might notice, the movie posters behind us are gone.
Yes.
I know. Did you notice that, Tyler?
I did. I know we burnt those yesterday.
Yeah, it was the ceremonial burning of the posters, obviously.
But truth to be honest, 99% of them need to be burned before they left the theater.
Absolutely. I mean, if you saw some of them up here, they deserve to have burned in a fire somewhere. But now we have a TV right behind us. We actually have a cool new background. Actually, this is the same old background. But when we go into news topics, we have some a cool different collage of different photos. It's just 4 photos together. Don't freak out. But we're very excited to have it. And something new. Anyway, speaking about something new, time to get into some movie topics today. Tyler?
Oh my gosh, I was surprised when I saw this.
Yeah, first
I
off,
was stunned.
Yes.
I was flabbergasted. Who in their right mind would actually green light this?
Well, we got to tell
horrible
everybody
idea?
what it is first. So this is the Dungeons and Dragons is the board game, and apparently now it's going to be a motion picture.
Isaac, it's not a board game. It's
a way of
role
life.
playing. It's a way of life. It's a role playing game.
It's like this is a lifestyle.
See, my biggest question
It's like
about
CrossFit,
it's like CrossFit,
but nerdier.
I got a question. You meet a vegan who does CrossFit. Which one of the 2 things you talk about first?
Oh my goodness, which one?
It's a paradox. Neither
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah. So, Dungeons and Dragons. How do you make a story out of this? Because from what I know from the source material I've watched, which is Stranger Things, you create your own story for it.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's just basically you got to get to this point in the like I was going to say village, the land, and you have to fight like all these dragons on the way. I think.
I think what it is there's characters from like monsters from a book, and people create their own characters and their own story.
Okay, so it's just basically like you make your own adventure. It's like in this world.
Yes.
And there's no Jeremy Irons that's like having a horribly hammy performance.
Not at all. And I don't believe Marlon Wayans is in it either.
Was Marlon Wayans in that? Oh, he was in that one.
Marlon Wayans.
Okay, in case anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, there was a Dungeons & Dragons movie back in, I believe, in 2002 or 3?
I don't know if Prince was in it either.
That does look like Prince. But also, if you've never seen the Dungeons & Dragons movie, Jeremy Irons has a wonderfully hammy performance in there. It is one of the funniest things that's ever happened, ever. But, yeah, did you know they have sequels to that movie?
I wasn't even sure that they released it on VHS or DVD.
Yes, the new ones, the new movie is going to be directed by John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. And you said Jonathan Goldstein looked
he was a little kid from Freaks and Geeks.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and they both directed this movie called Game Night, which was actually a really big sleeper hit of last year. Everybody really liked that one, supposedly. It was Jason Bateman. I think it was.
Now, what if this is the same vein as that, where you got some people playing Dungeons and Dragons, and this is a comedy film about their adventure during Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, I feel like, especially if you get these guys, it's going to be a little bit tongue-in-cheek, obviously. I feel like that's almost what it needs, because I don't want a deep, dark, serious Dungeons and Dragons
actually,
movie.
let's just say it as it is. The only reason why it's getting made because it was in Stranger Things.
Wait, what?
The only reason why this movie's getting made because
people know what it is now. Yeah,
from Stranger Things.
Well, I don't know. Especially when they got these guys behind it, they can't do any worse than what was before. So I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I'm not necessarily excited about it, but I'm slightly interested. Tyler, got any final thoughts before we move on?
I just hope they don't have to pull it. The other one did because it was giving people cancer.
Well, speaking about giving people cancer, The Lighthouse is a movie that came out a year ago at Cannes Film Festival and a bunch of other film festivals, and now we finally got a trailer for it.
I got a question. Is pipe upside down in this picture?
Yes, it is, because that's just like it's metaphorical because like smoking will put you in the ground, like and the smoke falls.
Nah, I don't think that's it, Isaac. I think
you think it was just a mistake?
Yeah, I think it was a mistake.
Okay, so this movie, in case you have no idea what this movie is, this is a movie directed by a guy named Robert Eggers, who looks just like Hunter Baker that used to volunteer here. But this movie revolves around. He's dead. He's not dead, but he's dead to us. But this movie revolves around Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe's characters. They work in a lighthouse, and apparently they're kind of losing their sanity, and it's going to be kind of the psychological horror kind of thing going on. And what intrigued me about this, it got rave reviews every single festival it was at. Apparently their performances are really awesome. This is all I've really seen about it. I don't want to know too much about it before I go into it. But what really caught my eye was Robert Eggers shot it with equipment that was available in like 1910s and the 1920s, like lenses and like different cameras. So it definitely has that kind of look. And you don't really see, that's the kind of stuff that really sets directors and movies apart when you do that kind of stuff. If they shot this on a cheap digital camera, it would look like a cheap TV show. But Tyler, what do you think about this trailer?
It does like it's an old movie.
Yeah, well, what did you think about the trailer overall?
I thought like it was really neat, like an old movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, Robert Eggers, and you might be like, well, who in the world is that? I know he looks like Hunter, but what does it mean to me? This guy directed, he had an incredible directorial debut with a movie called The Witch, and that was about 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
Slow burner, but it was great.
Yeah, it was another A24 picture. A24, this is Robert Eggers, by the way. His movie got like a lot of really good praise. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was quite, for like somebody that's never directed a movie before, that was incredible, like what he did. And this one's definitely very anticipated for it. He's got like two of probably the best actors in the biz right now, you know.
Well, he's got one of the best actors in the biz.
Who's the one that you don't think so?
I mean, I think that Sparkly Man.
Sparkling? Oh, come on, Robert Pattinson's a great actor, man. Dude, what have you seen him in besides Twilight?
Water for Elephants. Water for Elephants.
Besides that garbage, you know.
Harry Potter.
Okay, that was before Twilight. So, I mean, look at it like this, okay? You're a comic book guy. We have the Green Goblin and we have Batman.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm still not acknowledging that. I think it's a prank by DC.
Well, I'm very excited about it. There is no pranks by DC, only successes.
Yes.
Nope.
But I gotta say, Willem Dafoe is just delightful watching him in a movie.
Yeah, it's quite something. But anyway, speaking about quite something, there's another trailer that came out this week for a movie called Little Monsters, and it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Josh Gad, and a few other actors in a film.
Are you sure this is not the one where they got their copies living underground?
No, this is not the Fred Savage classic.
Wait, this is not a picture from Us.
That's not a picture from. It did look like a picture from Us, didn't it?
I thought it was.
Except there wasn't as many kids in Us. I mean, this one basically revolves around Lupita Nyong'o as like a school teacher or something, and there's a zombie apocalypse happening, and she's trying to protect the kids, and she winds up having to do some crazy things, and it gets all nuts. So, what did you think about this trailer, Tyler?
I thought it was neat.
You thought it was neat? Oh, well, like as far as kind of like the general direction they're going. At first, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, they remade the old Fred Savage movie. I'm like, well, obviously it's the same name, but this one, I mean, this one definitely has a really unique tone. It's definitely got some. They joke with it. Those are my notes, by the way. They go in this kind of like this general direction, like a tongue-in-cheek thing, where you either see zombie movies be like deadly serious.
That was funny because that guy didn't have tongues or cheeks. That was a good one. I had to get high five on that one.
We'll go fist bump.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't touch people's hands.
That's right. Not yours. I'm just kidding. Your hands are wonderful, but not for me.
Oh.
But anyway, back to the trailer. Yeah, so I mean, the guy that directed this, I was trying to find other things that he's worked on, but I couldn't really find anything else of like super big sustenance that he's worked on. And I don't know, like somebody that hasn't worked on too many films like this and trying to pull off something of this scale and trying to pull off something with this kind of star power in it, usually always turns out great. But I don't know. You got any final thoughts on this before we go?
Zombie movies, are they a thing again? Okay.
I don't know. Remember 2004? Yeah, and that was my next point. Was like the zombie craze is kind of over, and I mean I would rather see this again. To be honest, I mean, because now it's just like you have either the super serious, like, we're kooky, we're crazy, we're stupid, we're going to tell you about it, kind of like stupid, like overly, like self-aware kind of tone, and you have ones that like don't ride the line either way. This one, I liked the trailer for it. I thought it was very funny, and I'm interested, especially because I like Lupita Nyong'o as an actor. Josh Gad, I kind of go back and forth on, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But here's a trailer. The last topic of the day is a trailer I think we can both agree that we're very excited about.
The Irishman.
Well, I was going to go My Little Pony: The Retribution, but this one is acceptable too. This one is a movie called The Irishman and directed by Martin Scorsese himself. And The thing that people are really excited about this one is Martin Scorsese is putting this right on Netflix. It's not going to have a theatrical release, although it probably will.
So I did have a complaint about this. Like, you know, it doesn't really have a lot of Irish culture into it because, like, no one had those Brillo pad sweaters. I noticed that there was like well, there was alcohol in it, but not enough.
That's correct. You have to, like, the whole scene has to have some form of alcohol in each scene. That's just a rule.
Well, it also has to have cocaine because it is Martin Scorsese.
Well, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Martin Scorsese likes his crime flicks, and Martin Scorsese likes his Robert De Niro. And the thing that people are really talking about now is that they have him digitally de-aged in this movie. And I don't know, there's a shot at the end of this trailer. What did you think about the digital de-aging on him?
It reminded me of Princess Leia from Rogue One.
I didn't think it was that bad. I don't think the effects are finished. You'll see it. It looks like he's wearing some sort of face paint, and he's got like computer-generated pixels on him. It felt weird. I don't know. Maybe it'll be better before the movie gets out. Netflix is known for kind of having to try to cut corners as far as like with the budget and stuff. Unless you're like Martin Scorsese, we're like, oh, here you go, you get whatever you want. You know. So maybe this is just not a finished effect yet. But as far as the movie in and of itself, such a high-profile director like Martin Scorsese.
Well, I kind of called this was going to happen. You're going to start having these big-time directors, famous directors, big-time actors, but they know this movie is not going to make a profit out there in theaters anymore because people just don't go to this kind of movies anymore. They want to go in there, watch a $250 million.
Here we go. Here's the final shot. See, it doesn't look quite right.
No.
I don't know. It was really quick. I saw it, and I think I physically went, ew! Yeah. Like, it wasn't right.
It reminded me of Jeff Bridges from
No, it wasn't Wile E. Coyote looking. Oh. It wasn't that bad. But we'll see what happens with this. I'm excited to see it, especially with such a high-profile guy like Martin Scorsese. I think we're in good hands, and such a great actor like Robert De Niro. And also, if you saw Joe Pesci was in this too. So it's got its staples.
I really think a lot of films are going to be like this. We're going to go straight to Netflix. We're not going to see them in theaters. Because
they'll have a small theatrical release. Like Roma was one of my favorite movies of last year, and that didn't have a theatrical release. But it played in theaters for like a week, I think. Just because it was Alfonso Cuarón.
Well, people can go to the theaters to watch their tentpoles in Marvel movies.
Yeah, please don't let theaters just become the Marvel place or the superhero place. Let's just let it be like a quality film place, please. Anyway, enough about that. Guys, thank you so much for watching so far. We really do appreciate it. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about anything that we have. Do you like the TV? Do you not like the TV? Well, too bad. It's staying. Anyway, we'll be right back. Here's a commercial.
MAIL is a leadership organization
that focuses on mentoring young men
to achieve leadership
and success.
We help.
We learn.
We work.
We lead.
When it comes to culinary arts, Nash Community College is here to turn your burning passion for food into a career. Our chefs, with over 70 years of highly qualified industry experience, are here to point you in the right direction, teaching and handing down classical culinary techniques that will improve your skills and help you cut your way into the food industry. Gain invaluable experience, vital to cooking and preparing delicious food, served in a personal and creative environment. To learn more about the Culinary Arts program, visit nashcc.edu.
And welcome back to, I'm going to try to get it right, Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac the Note-Taken Anderson.
I am Tyler. This is a green screen king.
That's not a green screen.
This is a how can you prove it's not a green screen?
You almost look like a floating head because your shirt almost matches the background of the Big Bang Cinema.
It almost does.
Poster, except the light kind of ruins it.
I'm going to wear some green next week, so where it's just going to be my head and my arms floating around up here.
You could be vastly disappointed because you're just going to be wearing a green shirt and looking like a fool.
All right. Yeah.
Although that would be funny, actually.
I use like a fool. I just wear a green shirt anyway.
Heard. Well, anyway. time to talk about a big movie that came out this week that we both saw, or hopefully both saw.
Yes.
You never know. Guys, we're talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Tarantino flick. Tyler, what is this movie about?
What we're watch Upon a Time in Mexico.
Well, you can watch that one too, but this is the one we watched this week.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about this movie?
It was the new Quentin Tarantino film.
Is that really all you have to say about it?
I can really say. Well, I enjoyed it. It was like a fantasy, or I can't really. It's a Tarantino film.
Okay. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if I quite loved it as much as I love my other Tarantino films, but this is quality filmmaking at its best. Like, this is probably one of my favorite movies I've seen all year.
I mean, the only you could describe it as a Tarantino film.
Well, it's more than a Tarantino film. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. But yeah, so we're going to stick to non-spoilers real quick because we don't want this movie to be spoiled for you.
But spoilers, some of it's got Sharon Tate in it.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. I imagine we might talk spoilers at the very end, but we're going to keep it non-spoiler right now just because if you want to go see this movie, first off, if you get the chance to go see a 35mm screening, please do. That's a wonderful way to see this movie. Second off, don't let anybody tell you anything about this movie, especially like specific details, especially about the end.
It's got a twist to it.
Well, you don't even have to say that. I mean, obviously it's Tarantino. You can imagine that story is going to take a bunch of twists and turns, but just fair warning. Okay, so as far as the story of the movie, this movie kind of follows Leonardo DiCaprio's character Rick Dalton, and also something I really noticed about Quentin Tarantino's films, or like any good director anyway, is I remember the character names. After the movie, usually I'm just like, oh yeah, Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner go do this. And this one, I'm actually saying the characters' names. Like this, Sharon Tate does do this, and Cliff Booth does that. You know, and those things really stand out to me as like just good storytelling and like strong characterization that I remember what their names are. But that's just a small point. It follows Rick Dalton, who's kind of like a TV cowboy, a movie cowboy. At kind of the end of the 60s, and he's a has-been. He can't really get a whole lot of movie parts besides being the villain in some cheap TV shows. And a stunt double, Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt. He's their best buddy.
Good Lord, that guy was tough.
He was tough. We'll talk about all the toughness that he had, especially one scene that I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
But Brad Pitt's a stunt double, and they're also kind of like they're good buddies, and you know that's the last place he can really get any work in that field, and you know he helps Cliff. Cliff helps Rick drive him around, and Cliff helps get Rick stuff fixed in the house, and in turn, Rick helps him get work in Hollywood. Yeah, but it's not like a symbiotic relationship. They just help each other out because they like each other. They're buddies. And it also follows Sharon Tate, who's played by Margot Robbie. I thought she was fantastic in this movie.
You mean me tell about who Sharon Tate is?
Well, who's Sharon Tate?
Sharon Tate was a character actress back in the 50s and 60s, and she was married to Roman Polanski, and she was one of the victims for the Manson murders.
Yes, and Sharon Tate did not live a very long life. I think she died at like 29 or 27 or something like that. She's not part of the 27 Club, I don't think. But she was pregnant when she got murdered, right?
Yeah, like she
was very pregnant.
She didn't even go with Roman Polanski to Italy because they said she's probably gonna have the baby sometime on the plane.
Yeah, and Roman Polanski is another story. He's not in the movie a whole lot, but he is in the movie, and that's a whole other thing in and of itself. That's a quick Google search. But the movie in and of itself kind of follows them. It doesn't really have a strong plot. That was the one thing when I got out of this movie. I was wondering, I really enjoyed it. What was the point? What was the angle of it? And the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. I'm like, oh, this was more of the ending of an era. So this takes place in 1969, and this is kind of the end of the innocent love, man. All we need is love kind of thing, and the hippie mentality. The Manson murders kind of marked the end of that.
I mean, it really gets me too. Is a lot of that after the '60s, around this era at time, is you kind of lose your big cowboy heroes, your big war movie stars. I mean, they're gone. I mean, this is even around the same time that Steve McQueen even dies. It's not too long after this. Yeah, and Steve McQueen he has a small part in this movie. I don't think that's spoiling anything, but he is mentioned, and there is a part in there where you do get to see him, and the actor that plays him is quite good. I guess we can tell. It's not really Damian Lewis plays him. Damian Lewis from Homeland, and
band of brothers, and that was really cool to see him. But it just kind of follows them throughout their time. Well, what was your favorite kind of like performance in this movie? There were so many great performances in the movie. I don't know which one was your favorite. Also, Charles Manson was in this movie, and the same guy that plays him in Mindhunter, the TV show.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
Who was your favorite?
Leo.
Why do you say Leo?
I always say Leo. Leo's always my favorite.
See, me and you kind of disagree on Leo. I think he's a fine performer. I don't think he's a great actor.
Come on, that part where he's trying to get his lines when he's drunk.
Oh, that was fantastic! Yeah.
And he comes back and he just blows it out of the water. It was just amazing.
I thought he was really good in this movie. I really liked him. He's good. He's been good in a lot of things. You know, he does have like a diverse kind of film career. He's never been like, you know, like big blockbuster man, you know. He's always been kind of, you know, he picks the projects that he wants to do, and because, I mean, he's such a strong performer. I didn't like his accent. I thought his accent kind of sounded weird, but that's just Leo. Leo can't do an accent, to my knowledge at least. I haven't seen him do one good. I liked Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was one of my favorite ones in this movie. Granted, he was Brad Pitt. But his character was so cool, and you said he was very tough. And this is minor spoilers for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I guess we should talk about this. This is just minor characterization things about Brad Pitt that I thought were interesting. There's a whole plot of the movie, or part of the movie, that talking about where he killed his wife and got away with it.
Yeah, because I kind of, it was just like, he killed his wife, you know, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, wasn't there a guy in the 60s that like accidentally killed his wife?
No, it was supposed to be Michael York. No, not Michael York. The other one, the number two from Austin Powers. What was his name?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I know Christopher Walken.
Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner, Christopher Walken, and Natalie Wood were on a boat, and she fought the boat, and she died, but they still don't know what exactly happened to her.
Yeah, and yeah, that was kind of echoed that.
So the rumor, like he murdered his wife, but there's like no proof that what happened because everybody was drunk.
Yeah.
So it shows him like with a harpoon gun. It goes, you have the rumor he killed his wife, right? It was like, and I was like,
and the movie doesn't say if he did or didn't, but it highly implies that he did.
It was really ambiguous about it.
She was being very, very naggy, and I mean, he pretty much had every single chance to do it, and it wouldn't be right, but like you would understand like why he would have done that. Yeah. But it kind of leads into the plot. Like you don't realize how much of this movie is set up at the beginning until the very end, and we'll talk about the ending in just a little bit. So if you don't want to know anything about it, or you haven't seen it, don't listen to that part. You'll just have to mute it. I'll wave my hands. The scene with him and Bruce Lee, and you see that briefly in the trailer, was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
He beat up Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he beat the heck out of Bruce Lee. He slams him to a car.
Yeah,
and dents the car.
But that guy, he did an incredible job. It really felt like Bruce Lee too.
Yeah, I forgot what the guy's actor's name is, but. He was pretty great. That's all one shot, by the way. If you notice, Bruce Lee kicks him down, and then he's like, "Come back at me!" And then he gets him, he slams him in the car, and then Kurt Russell's wife comes out, and that's his actual wife in real life, isn't it?
Yeah, really? What? No, Goldie Hawn?
No, it wasn't Goldie Hawn. No, I thought I was wrong on that. Sorry.
No.
What was the actress?
Who did Goldie Hawn? Yeah, Goldie Hawn. No, yeah, they're married.
Yeah, him and Goldie Hawn are married, but. Whoever came out, it was some famous actress. I already forgot who she was, but there was a lot of little Matthew Perry's in this movie for like a little bit. It was kind of weird seeing him because he died recently. Timothy Olympian's in this movie too. Whatever. He's in it. You know who he is. Justified dude. And there's so many little actors in there. The guy that really I like the actor that played one of the techs, one of the Manson guys. I thought he was really good. He's like a Disney Channel guy. I think his name's Austin Butler. I know you're like his biggest fan. Tyler.
What?
Austin Butler, the guy that played Tex in the movie.
Yeah, but like he's on Disney Channel.
He was on Disney Channel. I think he's either engaged to Vanessa Hudgens or he's been dating her for a long time or something like that.
No, who's Vanessa Hudgens?
Oh, we've been lost on this. But yeah. Also, one of my favorite scenes before we talk about the ending, one of my favorite scenes is when they go to the Manson house, or not the Manson, Brad Pitt goes to the Manson
farm.
ranch. Yeah,
the farm. Oh, the ranch. Oh,
it was weird seeing Dakota Fanning use those words and talk like that and be like that because I mean, like we've seen her as a little girl and it was kind of weird. But Margaret Qualley's fantastic too, and North Carolina native Margaret Qualley.
I did not know that.
Yeah, really.
Dude, that part where he slashes his tires.
Well,
Change the tire. Change the.
And Brad Pitt does beat the mess out of him, and that's how I kind of started to realize, like, is this where it's going to go at the end? And really briefly, we're going to talk about the ending. So, look, if you have not seen this movie, please don't listen to the ending of this, please. Okay, Drew, cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. So, at the ending, obviously, you can imagine this whole thing leads up to the Sharon Tate murders.
But I gotta say, it was really well done.
Okay, so
Really
this movie is basically one big build-up to one big mix-up. And they basically get the wrong house because Rick Dalton lives right next to Sharon Tate, and they break into Rick Dalton's house. And Brad Pitt is not in a good state. He's very inebriated, and it winds up they beat these Manson kids up in glorious fashion.
Not just that, I think Brad Pitt had smoked some cigarettes with LSD on.
Yes.
So he's already high. So
and they set up everything, and then the last Manson girl gets murdered by a flamethrower at the very end.
Well, this is how it goes. Like they break in the house, they recognize him from the ranch, and I think he grabbed one girl because with a knife. He grabs her. He beats her head in with I mean,
he beats her head in for like a good 5 minutes.
I mean,
and
it's gone.
Hilarious.
It's gone. Like her head is gone, and I think he throws one guy in the pool, and it wakes up Brad Pitt. I mean, it breaks up Leo.
Yeah, then he gets a flamethrower. Yeah,
he had a flamethrower just sitting around his house from one of his. Oh, it was great.
Well, the ending's great, and the thing I liked about it kind of drove down the fairy tale thing. Sharon Tate got to live, and he actually moves up, not physically, but also metaphorically in his career.
Because he wants to be friends with them, so to help with his career, because they're the it in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate.
So he actually got a little bit further in his career. But anyway, guys, spoilers done. You can keep listening now. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. This is masterful filmmaking at its best. It's a really good character study. I'd highly recommend it. I'm going to give this movie I'm going to go 9 out of 10 on this one.
I'm going to go 9. I mean, it's a Tarantino film. I give it like a 9.1 out of 10.
Wow, just 1.1 above me.
Yeah, I'm never giving you the same score.
Heard that. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Let us know what you think about the show today. You can leave a comment at facebook.com/studio67ncc. Let us know what you like on the new background. Let us know anything you want to talk about. We just want to hear from you, especially if you're like in a different country or a different place.
Or if you don't even speak English, Isaac would be glad to talk to you.
There has been people that watch the show that don't speak English, and I mean, people that speak English are already confused when they watch us. So I mean, I can only imagine what those guys do.
How do they know what we're saying?
Well, I mean, does anybody ever realize like what I'm saying, even in English?
Wait, what?
Exactly. Guys, next week, we'll most likely be reviewing Hobbs and Shaw. So I'm sorry.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much. My name is Isaac, the New Background Anderson.
I am Tyler.
Is there a last name to Mr.
No,
Tyler?
it's just Tyler.
Okay. Guys, stay lovely. See you next week.
See you next week.